we're going to gravitate towards him because of race. We're all going to jump on the Cooper Flagg bandwagon. There's a big gap between those that are going to tune in to watch Cooper Flagg versus those that tune in to watch Caitlin Clark. The NBA needs this.
People always talk about representation this and representation that. The sword cuts both ways. Caitlin Clark is being followed by a lot of people who see Caitlin Clark as someone that might be like.
The state of Texas for professional basketball is pretty stacked.
Mm-hmm.
You got Cooper Flagg, of course, in Dallas with the Mavericks. He joins Kyrie and Klay Thompson there. In Houston, Durant traded. He's now a Rocket. And for San Antonio, Wemby, Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes. There's a lot of star power throughout the state of Texas.
Dylan Harper, number 2 overall pick.
There you go. Number 2 overall pick as well. On First Take, Peter Rosenberg is discussing and answering a question about which team would be the most popular team across the state of Texas. And he points to Dallas for this reason.
We're all adults. We can have a real life conversation, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Last time I checked, we still live in America,
Yeah.
right? Cooper Flagg is a white guy, maybe the best white American prospect since Larry Bird, right? Let's not act as if we don't live in America and we're not seeing what's happening with Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. Cooper Flagg is going to be an instant impact player in the NBA.
What would you do if the league you saved with your talent and turned around and let you get broken on national TV? Let's stop pretending this was just about basketball. Caitlin Clark didn't leave the WNBA to explore Europe or chase fame. This was the end of a slow, painful betrayal. From her very first WNBA game, the tone was set, not by her, but by
Born white player drafted first overall in the NBA since Kent Benson in 1977. He is already the most popular American-born white male player since Larry Bird. That's a fact. Is he? I mean, hold on. There's been a lot of good white. I mean, Chris Mullin is a Hall of Famer. He was pretty popular, but okay, I get their point. I'm not going to argue that. Thus, ESPN hopes to stoke the same racial tensions around Cooper Flagg that it did with Caitlin Clark. Yeah, look, the media, the WNBA media is complicit in causing a lot of this drama for Caitlin Clark too. ESPN defending the old WNBA guard and attacking her fans and all that kind of crap. So, enter in Peter Rosenberg, all right? Now, he's been in and around ESPN for a long time, but he's actually, if you come down here, he's actually a co-host of a hip-hop station, Hot 97 in New York City. All right? And he's one of these white dudes that has made a point to surround himself with black folks so he can show you how woke he is. Look at me. Look how woke I am. I'm down. I am down. Okay. I mean, if you say so. He thought he was Marky Mark for a lot of years. He does the WWE pregame for their PLEs. Like today, there's one from Saudi Arabia, King of the Ring. I'm sure he'll probably host the show. That's why I don't watch it.
everyone around her. Opponents throwing cheap shots, teammates looking the other way, coaches refusing to intervene, and the media, oh, they made it worse. They didn't just report the story, they twisted it, amplified the hate, and painted her pain as part of some initiation. But Caitlin wasn't some rookie who needed humbling. She was the reason this league was finally getting attention. Sold out arenas, exploding ratings, jerseys flying off shelves, and still, she was laughed at, shoved, ignored, treated like she didn't belong, like she hadn't already earned her place. Every time she got hit and no one stood up, a crack formed. Until one day, something snapped, and Caitlin made a decision, not out of emotion, but out of survival. Remember the hits, not just physical, but emotional, psychological.
Mouthpiece of white fragility in America. It's just more of the same. All he's saying is, me good, you bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, that was a lot of big words with white fragility and all these different things. It's a roundabout way of saying I hate the people that root for Caitlin Clark, that only watch the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark, because those people probably voted for Donald Trump. So I don't like them. So let me come up with a clever way of saying that without saying it. I'm going to go ahead and translate for you exactly what he's saying.
And isn't it more likely that no matter how great Cooper Flagg is, it's not going to reach this level?
Kennedy Carter lowered her shoulder into Caitlin's ribs and walked away smirking. No flagrant, no ejection, just play on. Angel Reese hacked her across the arms. Incidental contact, they said. Marina Mabre steamrolled her from behind. Only after fans exploded on social media did the foul get upgraded. And where was the league? Where was the leadership? Coach Stephanie White didn't call timeouts to check on her, didn't challenge refs, didn't rally the team to protect their star. She just stood there. And when the game ended, no defense in the postgame, no call from the commissioner, just silence. And in that silence, Caitlin heard the truth. Deal with it. That wasn't coaching. That wasn't leadership. That was abandonment. And what stung even deeper was watching her own teammates laughing with the players who hit her.
And I think there's one massive difference, because they're talking about the race war that Caitlin Clark's having to deal with. And look, she's getting a lot of hate because of her skin color. That is a thing. All right? Although I tend to believe that her personal preferences is an even bigger issue for a lot of these WNBA players. But I think there's a key difference here. The NBA players aren't nearly as petty, and they're not going to be jealous of Cooper. I mean, Luka Doncic, Nikolai Jokic, I mean, they've seen white guys ball out before. Dirk Nowitzki, it has happened. Now, I understand this is an American player.
Smiling while she iced her bruises. It wasn't just a lack of support, it was a message, and Caitlin got it, loud and clear. You want the truth? Caitlin Clark wasn't targeted for being cocky. She wasn't targeted because she was too good. She was targeted because she disrupted the system, because she was white in a league not ready to talk about race honestly. And so the media spun their narrative. ESPN dragged her name into unrelated segments, like the NBA's Cooper Flagg debate, claiming that white players were now facing white lash. But that's not journalism. That's bait. That's monetizing outrage. And it completely ignored the real story. A rookie who saved a league being torn down from the inside. Meanwhile, the NBA welcomed stars like Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic with open arms. Why? Because talent talks. But in the WNBA, jealousy screamed louder, and no one, not the league, not her coach, not her peers, shut it down. And while all this was happening, Europe was watching, silently, patiently, and then they made their move. They didn't offer Caitlin a salary, they offered her a statement. A 6 €1 private charter flights, elite recovery teams, personal security, profit sharing, a voice in league decisions, and the kicker, automatic suspensions for any player caught targeting her with dirty fouls. Europe didn't just see her as a star, they saw her as a once-in-a-generation opportunity, and unlike the WNBA, they weren't gonna fumble it. They whispered the words she hadn't heard in months. You matter. We'll protect you. You're worth it. And
ESPN simply cannot let a thing be about basketball or about sport. One way, somehow, either through mental gymnastics or just planned scriptedness, ESPN has to try to stir up the race pot, the race element in sports. And so what they are trying to do is create the issue that Caitlin Clark is dealing with, involving Cooper Flagg, the #1 overall draft pick this week to the Dallas Mavericks. I do think Cooper Flagg's going to be unbelievably popular in the NBA, provided he can play. I mean, there's one key difference with Caitlin Clark and Cooper Flagg. Caitlin Clark stayed in college a long time and built a massive built-in fan base that then followed her into the WNBA.
And he goes on to say, look, we're going to gravitate towards him because of race. We're all going to jump on the Cooper Flagg bandwagon. There's a big gap between those that are going to tune in to watch Cooper Flagg versus those that tune in to watch Caitlin Clark. Can they close that gap? Can he come out and play extremely well from the opening tip of the season? We discussed this at length yesterday, Chad. The NBA needs this. They need the next Larry Bird.
Yeah.
They haven't had it. And can he provide that? If he does, that's great for the NBA. And we both believe they'll embrace this more than what we saw from the W with the way they've embraced Caitlin Clark or the lack thereof.
Yeah, and look, I think the gentleman from ESPN, Rosenberg. And we've got some audio we're going to play that probably colors a little bit of his argument a little bit more from what he said.
Now, the fallout is here. Advertisers are pulling back. TV deals are being renegotiated. Marketing campaigns are collapsing. Those sold-out Indiana home games, they're barely moving tickets now. And this isn't a blip. This is a warning shot. The fans didn't just show up for women's basketball. They showed up for Caitlin Clark. And when she left, so did they. The WNBA didn't just lose a player. They lost momentum, relevance, identity. They let petty rivalries, dirty hits, and racial politics chase away their most bankable star, and now they're paying the price. Cathy Engelbert and Stephanie White just made history, but not the kind they'll celebrate. They lost the face of the league, the cultural phenomenon who put women's basketball back on the map, and all because they refused to say 4 simple words. We've got your back. That silence cost them millions, and possibly their credibility, because the next young phenom is watching. She's watching how Caitlin was treated, watching the bruises, the betrayal, the silence.
Largely what he said is completely accurate. I've got no issue with anything that he said during that one clip. It's exactly what I was arguing yesterday, that of course Cooper Flagg is going to in part be very popular because he's very different. Mr. Rosenberg hinted at it right there. There has not been a white American superstar in the NBA since probably Larry Bird. Steve Nash doesn't count. He's Canadian. We can go down the list. Dirk Nowitzki is German. There's been plenty of white guys that have starred, but they've been European. The last American white superstar was probably Larry Bird. And now Cooper Flagg has the game and the potential to be that type of player. He's not Larry Bird from a style standpoint, but that is important. And it's a league that is majority African American. It's no different than when Tiger Woods took over golf. Tiger Woods was different. Tiger Woods brought a new demographic into the game of golf, and suddenly golf exploded on the international scene. Golf was a huge television hit in the United States. Why? Because it felt more welcoming to everybody. Because suddenly the same country clubs that were shutting out black people were welcoming them in because Tiger Woods is taking over the sport. Look how great of an example this is. Tiger Woods was great for golf. It's no different. People always talk about representation this and representation that and being seen and felt and heard and all of this. Guys, the sword cuts both ways. I don't know how else to tell this to you. We do live in America. Absolutely. America's not some horrific racist place. But representation is important. Caitlin Clark is being followed by a lot of people who see Caitlin Clark as someone that might be like her, that may have a similar upbringing. Not unlike a lot of minorities in America saw Tiger Woods and saw the same level of hope. Caitlin Clark is that great middle American white hope of the WNBA. Cooper Flagg could be the great white Northeastern American, Maine American hope in the NBA.
I like that.
This is not me trying to put a target on his back or anything else. We need conflict in sports. I don't want to start some sort of race riot over Cooper Flagg. But when I'm watching an NBA game, yeah, it's going to help. It's going to help a lot of people watch the game and think, man.
And when it's her turn to choose a league, you think she won't remember? So now I ask you, if you were Caitlin Clark, would you have stayed? Would you have kept showing up, taking hits, biting your tongue, and pretending everything was fine for a rookie scale salary that barely clears $76,000? Or would you have walked away, walked toward respect, toward protection, toward a league that doesn't just see you as a marketing tool, but as a legend in the making? Caitlin didn't betray the WNBA. The WNBA betrayed her, and now she's doing what stars do, shining somewhere that actually appreciates her light. If you think Caitlin Clark made the right move, hit that like button right now. Subscribe for more raw, unfiltered truth about the game we love, and ring the bell so you don't miss the fallout from this mess. Now drop a comment below. Would you stay in a league that lets you get mugged on national TV? Or would you chase the paycheck and the protection you've already earned? Let's hear it.